Welcome back to the Neutral Zone. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Arizona State Sun Devils as we continue on with our preview series. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, join the nation. Let's get right into the video.
Obviously, an amazing season for Arizona State last year with an incredible game against Texas in the playoffs, probably one of the games of the year. And this team brings back a lot. Obviously, we know about Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson. We obviously would be remiss to not talk about Cam Skattebo and all that he did for this team, putting this team on his back. So we'll see, can Kyson Brown, their projected starter this year, can he kind of be who Skattebo was? And I don't want to say that he has to match the 1,700 yards that Skattebo is taking with him as he goes to the NFL, but he has to make a plausible threat in the running game again, because I think this team this year is going to really lean on Sam and that passing game. Like I said, with Jordan Tyson, Malik McClain, this is a team that, if you believe that it was not all about just Cam Skattebo last year, this is a team that looks like they are returning. Why you laughing?
You call them scams. Scam Skattebo is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot. That looks like they are returning a lot. They are returning a lot of firepower. And we've kind of mentioned it. This is a team that is going to be very dangerous. And they look like the trajectory is moving forward. I would honestly predict them to be a playoff team. Obviously, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Steve, what's your thoughts?
So ESPN has them ranked as a number 24 team, and they have them projected to go about 8-4 with a 13% chance to win the Big 12. Before I want to get started, I do want to say Arizona State had 6 games that they won by 1 possession or less, and I've beat the same drum every single time we've done this preview. I think you win those close games. It's very hard to win those close games 2 years in a row when you're talking about a single possession game. You had that against Mississippi State, Texas State, Kansas, Utah, UCF, BYU. So I think some of those teams are really good. I think Mississippi State can beat them. I think Kansas can beat them. I think Utah can beat them. I think UCF can beat them. And I think BYU can beat them. So do I predict all of those games to them to lose? No, but I'm just saying when you look at it from a different lens, you win 6 of your 11 wins came by 1 possession, and that is a very, very interesting statistic when you're looking at the totality of your 14 games. But I think Arizona State, like you said, is a solid team. They have Sam Levitt, who's obviously one of the better quarterbacks in college football. Cam Skattebo put the team on his back for the majority of that year. But I think Jordan Tyson is one of the best wide receivers in college football. He'll be a first-round pick coming into next season. They're going to have arguably the most veteran and experienced secondary in the Big 12 with 3 returning three out of the 4 returning secondary members. And then you also bring over 2 defensive backs from other Power 5 teams. I mean, I still consider Washington State Power 5 even though they're in the Pac-12, but I think the biggest concern for me is the running back room. I don't think Sam Levitt can just drop back and throw the ball all over the place. And I mean, I know people are going to come in and say, well, we have this guy and that guy. I want to see it on the field because Cam Skattebo showed us, who this Arizona State team was. He put his heart out in every single game. And I'm a little skeptical when it comes to who's going to take that next step in the running back room, because I don't think Sam Levitt is good enough at the quarterback position to win you games by himself. I think Jordan Tyson is a very good piece to have on the outside. But when you look at Noble Johnson and Jaron Hamilton coming over from Clemson, Alabama, those guys did not play at their respective programs. You also brought over Jalen Moss from Fresno State, I believe, and I think he had like 500 yards or something like that, which is not, I didn't put on this list because I just saw that. So I think he'll be able to kind of produce right away for this team as well. But as far as getting to the playoffs, I would have to see how this team looks early on. I'm definitely a little bit more down on them than you are, just because I think Cam Skattebo is, or he was, let me rephrase that, he was the heartbeat of this team. And like I said, I think Sam Levitt is a really good quarterback. But I think a quarterback is only as good as the pieces around him. We saw that numerous times in college football. When a really good quarterback is by himself, he can only do so much. I don't know much about the offensive line. So the offensive line may not be good, or they might, I don't know how much they're returning. I didn't look much into that, so I'm going to be honest. So if you're an Arizona State fan, please let me know as far as the offensive line goes. But let's get right into kind of predicting, because this is going to be interesting. I'm going to go first. I don't have this team going to the playoffs. I have them losing to Mississippi State on the road. I think that Mississippi State crowd is rocking. They're going to have the bells, and they just lost a 7-point game to the same playoff team last year in Arizona State. I think Utah is going to be a sleeper pick in the Big 12. We'll get into them in a few days. So I think Utah and Kyle Whittingham is a really good program. And at the very bottom, y'all know I don't like Colorado, but just something. But there's something about Boulder late in seasons, and I think they're going to play spoiler there. I think at that point, Arizona State is going to kind of be a shoe-in for the Big 12 with only one loss to Utah. And I think with Colorado, and that's another team we need to preview because we haven't even talked about them off camera. We need to preview Colorado. I don't think by week 11 or 12 or 13, Colorado's going to have much to play for as far as, big-time national exposure. But I think they're going to play spoiler. And I think Deion Sanders, with his final home game, he's going to get his team rowdy. They're going to be ready to go. And I think they're going to knock off the Sun Devils and essentially wipe them out of the playoff picture and the Big 12 title game. So that's my prediction. I got them going 9-3, but I do have them their ceiling at 12-0. I think they could beat anybody on this schedule. So would I be surprised if they went 12-0? Absolutely not, because the three teams that I have them losing to all were pretty bad last year. I mean, outside of Colorado had a decent season for Colorado expectations, but Utah was really bad. They lost like 6 or 7 games straight, and then Mississippi State was obviously the more so bottom of the barrel in the SEC. So could they win every game? Of course, but I also have the floor at 5-7. So I have it right in the middle between 5-7, 12-0 at 9-3.
It's crazy. I have a little bit more love for this team again, especially when you talk about returning a quarterback who took a team to the playoffs, number one receiver, a good transfer haul. Yes, you are missing the engine that was that team last year, but I think they're going to find a way to replace that. And like I said, what I suspect is a lot more of that is going to reside on the shoulders of Sam Levitt. We'll see what Kyson Brown brings to the table, like I mentioned before. But all the pieces, especially offensively, seem to be there next year. I think 10 out of 11 starters on defense were players that played on this team last year. So a lot of chemistry back on that defense this upcoming season. So with the way that this schedule is structured, with the way that the Big 12 is, I think you have a lot of good, not great teams, right? So as I look at this, I think Baylor's going to be tough. TCU, Utah can be tough. Texas Tech, Houston is no team to sneeze at. Iowa State's normally pretty tough. West Virginia's pretty tough. Colorado can be pretty tough. So you have a number of teams that are what I would call solid middle of the road teams. I would put Arizona State a little bit above that crop. Now, where I think this would change is if they were in the Big Ten or the SEC. I think this team would have a hard time maybe competing in one of those conferences. I think the Big 12 is deep. I just don't think they're top heavy. I don't think the top teams are as good as some of the other conferences' top teams, but I think they have a bunch of teams that can beat you on any given Saturday. So what that has to come down to me is the team that has shown us, right, that they did it last year. The team returning a lot of their offensive, especially in the passing game, firepower. A team with a lot of chemistry. Like I said, this isn't a team that went super deep in the portal to augment their what they lost. So your point about one score possessions, I wish I had looked at that a little bit more before this, because I do agree that may be something concerning. Again, especially when you don't have a Cam Skattebo. We've seen him take over that Texas game. We've seen him take over some other games. So the question becomes, can Sam Levitt do that in those big games? We'll see.
So the same way you just said you wished you looked at the one possession games, I just looked. I have a lot more trust in this running game. They got the transfer portal running back from Army, their best player, Kanye Udo, who had 10 touchdowns and a bunch of yards last year. They also have Ray Leak Brown, who played running back / slot for USC 2 seasons ago. So I think their running game is going to be decent. So I think with that being said, I probably would have had them beating Colorado if I would have known they had Udo. I didn't see him on the depth chart there, I think. But I mean, I'm still going to stick with 9-3. I think Deion Sanders is still going to be able to get his guys ready. I think that game's going to be a lot closer. I'd probably favor Arizona State a little bit more heavily in that game now, seeing that, because I think Kanye Udo can play that same type of role as Skattebo, the power back out of the backfield, kind of the workhorse, the bell cow, and then Rayleigh and Kyson Brown can kind of be the complementary pieces to him. Now we don't know who's going to be the starting guy for this running back.
It's a little bit different though. Army is a triple option team where you're talking
misdirections,
a team staying disciplined and misdirection versus Arizona State's a more traditional lineup. And not to say Udo won't be great because he may be, but it is a much different scheme.
Yeah, so you guys let us know in the comment section what you guys think about this Sun Devils team. If you're an Arizona State fan, let us know what we missed on. Like I said, I'm really intrigued about the offensive line. That's something I didn't really look at. So let us know if we missed on that. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to Join the Nation, and we will see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.